Yo, what's up guys, welcome back for another YgoPro duel video. Magibullet, new archetype coming out soon in the OCG. And first I saw the archetype, I read all the card effects, I wasn't too impressed. But after reading it a second time, I was like, wait, these Magibullet monsters, they trigger when either you or your opponent activate any spell or trap in the same column and not only restricted to their themed Magibullet spells or traps. Wow, this is very nice. So as I mentioned before here, all these Magibullet monsters all have like the effect that when either you or your opponent activate like a spell or trap in the same column as that respective, bullet monster, you can get a surge or you can trigger their effect, you know, depending on what their effect is. They currently, with the current support, they have 2 level 4 monsters and 3 level 3 monsters. So again, Ties of the Brethren is just stupid powerful in this deck, as you will see in a few moments. The 2 level 4s, one of them is here at 3 in the main deck. The Shooter Star is again when a spell or trap is activated in the same column as this card. You can special summon a Magibullet monster from your deck in defense position. So it pretty much searches your most important monsters, right? The second one here only at 2 in the deck since she pretty much has the same effect as your Shooter Star, but she revives a Magibullet monster from your graveyard. So pretty much like a Debris Dragon. And then honest, you know, they are all light monsters. The 3 level 3s are like the core of this deck currently. First one here is the Kid, Shooter the Kid. Again, once per turn when you or your opponent activates any spell or trap in the same column as this card, you can discard a Magibullet card, either a monster, spell or trap, and draw 2 cards. So it's pretty much a destiny draw for this archetype. A Doctor, again, same effects, requirements, activation requirements like before, but a Doctor gets something back from your graveyard to back to your hand. And last, I believe one of the better ones is Casper. Casper again triggers and it searches any Magibullet card, so either monster, spell or trap, from your deck and adds it to your hand. All the effects are once per turn, by the way, but they also trigger during your opponent's turn. And then the most important effect is that all of your Magibullet monsters have the first effect that you can activate Magibullet spells and traps directly from your hand during both players' turns. So they pretty much turn themselves into like hand traps, well, at least for the spells and traps, and that's kinda crucial. The 2 spells here for this archetype are currently never Endorphin, I believe the name is. Both are like shrink cards. The first one, this Endorphin, doubles the attack of the targeted Magibullet monster. And sadly, it cannot attack directly after that. The other one, Cross Dominator, is like you can target any face-up monster on the field. Its attack will be put to 0 and its effects are negated. Again, quick play spell card, so there is always a potential. If you control a Magibullet monster on the field, you can activate them directly from your hand during your opponent's turn. And last, the 2 trap cards. The first one here is Death Parado, I believe the name is. It's like a smashing groundish card. Again, when activated, you can target one face-up card on the field to destroy it. And then the last one, Devil's Deal, definitely one of the better ones. A continuous trap that when it's face up on the field, your Magibullet monsters cannot be destroyed by card effects. So again, it only prevents destruction and so yeah, not by destroying by battle, for example. The deck is currently sitting at 44 cards, reason being the main deck Toon Table of Contents. Again, I'm looking for spells that can immediately trigger your Magibullet monsters without like investing a lot of resources. So if Upstart Goblin would have been at 3, it would definitely be in the main deck, since again, you just for example normal summon Shooter Star, activate Upstart Goblin or Toon Table of Contents in the same column as Shooter Star, you know, draw a card or search a card for Toon Table of Contents, and then you trigger, or before you trigger your Shooter Star to special summon something from your deck. So again, free activation for your Magibullet monsters. So again, if you have any suggestions, you can always leave them down below. You will see, or at least I will talk about their biggest weaknesses in a couple of moments during the duel. So let's not waste any more time, let's hop into the first game. Alright, first duel, and I think I got to start. It doesn't really matter if you start or not, but if you start and have access, or at least, yeah, if you start you can, like, freely bar a hand trap, set up your board. That's kind of crucial, and again, if your opponent starts, sets his setup, spells and traps, his monsters, you can act accordingly with your zones, since as you know, the zones and where you're placing your monsters, spells and traps is very, very crucial and very important. Yeah, I'm not really sure how I should explain this all, but eventually I have Doctor on the field, the most left one, get something back from your grave. The Destiny Draw is also on the field, the guy that was first summoned here, special summons from the deck, so he pretty much tutors like your entire deck. And you're already seeing that cards like Table of Contents might not be the best card here in the main deck, but they do trigger all these Magibullet monsters, again searching another copy of Table of Contents and at the same time triggering their respective, the Magibullet monsters effect. Cards like Double Summon I think are kind of crucial for now. You could play like Brilliant Fusion for example, since the normal summon is just too crucial here in this deck, but more of that in a few moments. Again, Ties of the Brethren on one of the level 3s, the Casper trigger, since again Ties was activated in the same column. And then special summon the 2 other 3s to the field. Both Tables let me trigger the Destiny Draw guy and the Doctor guy. Again, Doctor last, since the Destiny Draw guy sets one Magibullet card up in my graveyard. Again, you could opt to set Warning here in one of those zones behind the Magibullet monster, potentially when you negate your opponent's summon to get the search of that particular Magibullet monster. But then again, it leaves you with the possibility, or maybe you are forced, or you are forcing yourself to activate a warning to get a search, right? So it's up to you if you want to do that. Here go for Giant Hands, but eventually go for game. So here, you definitely see that this deck has a lot of potential. I mean, if you're able to set up your field, the deck, most of the time, thanks to Casper, I most of the time search out my Continuous Trap. You know, the Continuous Trap that protects all your Magibullet monsters from being destroyed by card effects, since that's one of the biggest weaknesses of this deck is mass removal, like Darkle, Raigeki, and yeah, here my opponent pretty much had like the best combination to get rid of my setup, you know, the Spell and Trap Destruction in the form of Twin Twister to prevent my Continuous Trap, Magibullet Trap, I believe it's called Devil's Deal, to, you know, resolve, and then he can just like Raigeki my entire board. So the biggest weakness of this deck currently of Magibullet is the normal summon, first of all, the normal summon, and second of all is board wipes. Board wipes, and coming back after that is, that's... Currently, I don't see this deck doing that for now, so maybe I should add Soul Charge here in the main deck as well. Last example, the opponent gets a start. He has a decent start, I believe. My opening hand is okay. Immediately normal summon the Casper again. Casper can search any Magibullet monster from or card from my deck and add it to my hand. Immediately use a Continuous Trap to, you know, protect my Casper from being destroyed by card effect. So yeah, Solemn Strike will not destroy it, but it will negate it. Again, that's a major bummer, since I can't continue my my series of activations, right? Since again, I would have used my, what is it called? It is my double summon. Do you know, maybe double summon the extra, the Shooter Star, and then I probably would have activated, the search, or at least the card that I would have searched from my first turn setup. So if your opponent has any kind of disruption, it's very hard. Again, very hard to to return from that. So currently the archetype is still very vulnerable again to disruption, and mainly of course board wipes, as I mentioned before. But still, ABC Dragon Buster is still very, very good. Too good actually here for this deck. So I have a very weak setup. The only card that I have in my hand is, I believe it's called Dominator. It's like put one monster, I believe, on the field to 0 attack and negate the effect. But it's not going to save me here. He has too much shenanigans ready, and now he can just attack for game. So a bit sad that Devil's Deal, I believe the name is the Continuous Trap for Magibullets, only protects your Magibullet monster from destruction, you know, by card effect. So not by battle, and not prevent targeting, for example, like what they did with Cosmos. But maybe I'm asking too much. Okay, so again, feel free to leave suggestions. All suggestions are definitely welcome. You could play like the new quick play spell card that, I forgot its name. It's like a double summon, but during the battle phase. But I think I still prefer the regular double summon, right? It's a rival indeed. But I think I still prefer the regular double summon since you can activate it during your main phase 1. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching and feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.